Think of the exit of Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden and how baptism cleanses us from original sin, which Adam and Eve committed. What is up, familia? Easter season is officially over after celebrating Pentecost Sunday, and now we get ready with the liturgical season of ordinary time. Now, this liturgical season, which is one of the longest seasons that the church celebrates, will end sometime towards the end of November, hence the long liturgical season. So let us continue learning more during this liturgical season while continuing to strengthen our prayer life at the same time. If you're interested in seeing more content regarding faith, vlogs, informative videos, and just life in the city, consider subscribing below and hitting the bell icon to be alerted when a new video drops. We can never start the topic without looking at the gospel for inspiration. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. This verse is from Romans chapter 15 verse 13. So as we start this season, the very first Sunday gives us a template for where we should aim our focus and desires to. This Sunday we celebrate the solemnity of the most Holy Trinity, that being the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Now, there are many topics we can cover on the Holy Trinity because Christ did speak a lot about the Trinity. In fact, it was because of him that we learned about the Father and the Holy Spirit. Today we will discuss and point out three of the well-known narratives of the Holy Trinity. And thanks to the saints, we have more narratives to tell, but for now we will look at these three. And toward the end of each narrative, I will point out the saint whom you can ask for their intercession to grow ever so closer to the Holy Trinity. Now, this very first narrative comes to us from the Gospels itself, and this is when Jesus was baptized in the Jordan. This narrative is described in three of the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Now, this narrative, while known very well, is really the first time when we see the Holy Trinity spoken of in the Gospel. All three Gospels describe John the Baptist baptizing Jesus in the river, and after Jesus was baptized, quote, "The heavens opened and the Holy Spirit descended on him in bodily form like a dove, and a voice came from heaven. You are my Son, whom I love. With you I am well pleased." End quote. It is interesting to note that we are allowed to see a glimpse of the Holy Trinity after the sacrament of baptism. Think of the exit of Adam and Eve from the Garden of Eden and how baptism cleanses us from original sin, which Adam and Eve committed. Ask St. John the Baptist for his intercession. This second narrative I bring to you is from a very well known and one of my favorite saints. Check out the videos on the channel to see my list of favorite saints and why they inspired me. Check them in the links down below. The vision of St. Augustine goes as follows. He was walking by the seashore one day, contemplated the mystery of the Holy Trinity, when he saw a little child running back and forth from the water to a specific spot on the seashore, and the boy was using a shell to carry water from the large ocean and pour it into the small hole that he dug up in the sand. When Augustine approached him and asked him what he was doing, the boy replied, "I am going to pour the entire ocean into this hole." Now, you can imagine the big question mark over St. Augustine's head, and he said, "That's impossible. The sea is so great and the shell and the hole are so little." But the boy replied with, "Yes, that is true, and yet it would be easier and quicker to draw all the water out of the sea and fit it into this hole than for you to fit the mystery of the Holy Trinity and his divinity into your little intellect. For the mystery of the Trinity is greater and larger in comparison with your intelligence than is this vast ocean in comparison with this little hole." Now, in some narratives, we hear then the child vanished, while in other narratives, the boy transformed into an angel. Now, why is the story so powerful? Some say that St. Augustine had been talking with an angel sent by God to teach him a lesson on intellectual pride. while others said it was the Christ child himself who came to remind Augustine of the limits of human understanding in and how it relates to the great mysteries of our faith, referring to the Holy Trinity in this narrative, as Saint Augustine for his intercession. This last narrative that I will share today comes to us by way of Saint Patrick. His narrative is more of a way of how he described the Holy Trinity to the people who wanted to learn more of God and the Trinity, but could not grasp the point of the Holy Trinity, all three in one. Some of the narratives explain how St. Patrick went to the king's daughters and convinced the king's daughters of the church's teaching. He used the shamrock to visualize the mystery of the Trinity and how a single plant with 3 leaves is analogous to the one triune God, with 3 separate and distinct persons. According to another narrative, it talks about how St. Patrick used a shamrock to help explain the Trinity in a sermon that he preached directly to the king at that time. And there's another narrative where it tells us how St. Patrick was traveling and he met a number of Irish chieftains along a meadow. The leaders were curious about the Trinity and they asked St. Patrick for an explanation, at which point he bent down, picked up the shamrock and showed it to them, and explained how the 3 leaves are part of the one plant, and how this is similar to the 3 persons, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and how they are together as one supreme being, but are not the same. The Father is not the Son is not the Holy Spirit is not the Father, but the Father is God, the Son is God, and the Holy Spirit is God, as St. Patrick for his intercession. Question of the week: do you know of any other stories relating to the Holy Trinity? Let me know in the comment sections down below. Today I bring to you T, Spark, and Durant Design. Links for their websites and pages are down below. And you already know, go and support. Continue to stay safe. Definitely continue praying, and hashtag keep praying to motivate others to pray. Stay blessed. God bless. Hey, if you made it to this part of the video, muchas gracias. I'm super grateful. Make sure you check out these videos here and subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. Thank you and see you in the next video.